Hi, this is Dr. Cindy Gutierrez. I'm the Director of the Office of Partnerships, and I'm sharing with you a little bit of information around two different pathway options that our fall 2015 graduate cohort of teacher candidates has available to them as you get ready to begin your internships in January. So let me overview those for you. The first pathway we have is through our professional development school residency, and this is what you've been hearing about all the way through as you've come into the program. A couple of key features. It does remain a cohort model. You continue to have the cohort that you've been with taking classes, but you'll also be together with a smaller cohort at your school of somewhere between 6 and 10 teacher candidates who've all been selected by that particular school. It is a year-long gradual residency of internships in one of our PDSs, and you'll have the opportunity to work with various clinical teachers throughout your time. We partner with 5 different districts to support this pathway: Denver Public Schools, Aurora Public Schools, Jeffco, Adams 14 out in Commerce City, as well as Mapleton Public Schools. And it really is focused on integrating theory to practice in highly diverse urban school settings. And this pathway is open to every licensure track here at CU Denver. But our newest pathway that's just become available to our students in the fall 15 cohort is a new student teacher residency with Denver Public Schools. This too is a cohort model. A little different here where everybody in the residency serves as a cohort. So it's about 20 to 25 students who are in that particular cohort. You may be working though in separate schools. There might be anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 residents in a particular building. This one is a much more intensive residency where it is still a year long, but you will go 4 days a week all school year, starting in January and then finishing all the way through December. And you'll work with only one mentor teacher in this model, where you'll be in a Title I school in DPS. The other unique thing about this pathway is it's very context specific to Denver Public Schools. So everything about how Denver thinks about teaching, their curriculum, even the evaluation of teachers are all very specifically addressed in this particular model, but it is still that focus on theory to practice. Also unique to this model is it includes, above and beyond your initial license, the added endorsement in culturally and linguistically diverse education, which does make you highly marketable. It does not require that you speak Spanish. What a CLDE added endorsement does is it gives you an even more specific and expert set of knowledge and practices around how to work with a high population of multilingual learners. In the professional development school residency, we certainly work our best to integrate that information in there, but you don't go nearly as deep. The other thing about the student teacher residency is there are multiple university partners involved in this residency model. So this is open to candidates from CU Denver, but they also partner with Metro, and there may be a few other partners coming on soon. And lastly, it's not open to every single pathway. It is only currently available to the high need areas that DPS is seeking to hire in. So they have a huge high demand for elementary teachers, and secondary math and science teachers, and then particularly bilingual Spanish candidates in secondary social studies, English, and foreign language teaching. They would love bilingual teachers in elementary and secondary math and science as well, but they will also take English-speaking only teacher candidates in those licensure areas. So a little difference to help you understand how the structures of each pathway take place. So what happens when you come through in the PDS model? So next spring, you would have some core courses that every licensure area takes, and some specialty methods courses. That's this yellow block here. You'll have classes that you're taking at UCD on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then in the spring, you'll only be out in your internship 2 days a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. When you move into the fall semester in in next fall of 2016, then what you'll have is you'll still have a few courses, core courses that you pick up, and some specialty methods courses that are unique to your licensure area on Mondays and Tuesdays, but they come to an end for the most part about mid-semester, because you'll notice that your time in your residency school starts to ramp up. In the second semester, or this coming fall, you'll be going 3 days a week the first half of the semester, and then 5 days a week. So in comparison, here's what the student-teacher residency looks like with DPS. In the spring, you would be out in your residency classroom 4 days a week from the get-go, and you have that both semesters. In both models, you do follow the school year calendar, so in both models, you need to be ready to go back right after the January 1st holiday as you get started. It's just that you'll stay much longer in the DPS school. And then what they do with the fifth day of the week is they split that fifth day of the week into 2 half-day seminars. Half of the day you'll be focused on an STR seminar in DPS, and what that does is it covers the content of those core teacher ed courses that you would have been back here taking at CU Denver. And then the other half of the day, it's covering the new CLDE seminar courses that give you that added endorsement. You'll notice these courses are not a part of the PDS model. This is unique to only the DPS student-teacher residency. And then lastly, you still have specialty methods courses that you will need to pick up that are unique to your licensure. If you're in elementary, you will be taking those through a sequence of online modules. If you are in secondary, you return just 1 night a week to take a secondary methods class specific to your licensure area here at CU Denver. And then that continues in the exact same way in the fall semester as well. So a little bit of the benefit comparison. Again, both of them are year-long clinical experiences. It's just how intense the residency time in the classroom is. The other comparison is in the PDS pathway, you're working with different clinical teachers, which has its pros and its cons, I guess you would say. Whereas over here, you're working with a single mentor teacher. Again, pros and cons. Basically, you get to see more teaching styles potentially over here. You just don't get to make that deep relationship possibly as much with one single clinical teacher and one group of kids that you'll be working with. You'll see a variety of folks. Over here, you do see that really intense time with a teacher, but you don't have as many opportunities to get to see other teachers. There are sometimes you get to go observe some other classrooms, but you really have this one embedded relationship with one teacher. There's scholarships and financial support available in both sides. The one unique thing on the PDS pathway is we do have the Noyce Scholarship open to secondary science and math, which is not available on the STR pathway over here. But on this side, anybody who is accepted into the student-teacher residency will be paid a $10,000 stipend by DPS. Sometimes that stipend is a little bit more depending on the school that you might be in. The school may also support you with additional stipend money. On the PDS side of that pathway, you'll earn your Colorado initial license, and then you have that option to seamlessly transition into several different MA options here in the School of Ed. And lastly, over here, same thing, you'll earn your initial license in whatever teaching area you're going into, and you can seamlessly transition again into several different MA options. The difference being is because you are already adding this culturally linguistically diverse education endorsement, again, that's actually being paid for by DPS. They're paying for all of your coursework for CLDE. You will actually have a jump start on that CLDE Masters. And if you choose the CLDE Masters option, you'd only have 4 classes remaining. And then finally, over here in the PDS pathway, you are considered a priority candidate for hiring in the professional development school that you were trained in. Over here, you're considered a high priority candidate for hire in Denver Public Schools. And you will also receive an additional 2 years of induction support as teachers in DPS through a grant called NextGen that we have with them. So your task is to select which pathway you would like to move ahead in. Both pathways have a unique matchmaking process that we use to help connect you with the school and the mentor that you'll be working in. In the student-teacher residency, what that process looks like is an actual face-to-face matchmaking process. It's a little bit like speed dating, and you get to really engage in learning a lot about the different mentor teachers that are available and which schools they're in. In our professional development school graduate residency, we actually use an online matchmaking process. Again, the schools, many of them were part of your interview, so they do remember seeing you and may have already requested that they would love to have this person at their school. But through our online matchmaking process and the online form link that we ask you to complete, this was part of the admissions paperwork that you were sent, but we're resending this out as we draw closer to the placement process. We ask you to answer several different questions about yourself that give us some insight about who you are, what your teaching style might be like, really what your goals are, and you also get to rank order all of the different districts so that we use that information to help our schools make good matches and selections. So look for that follow-up email from Meredith Lopez where you will indicate which pathway you do plan to move ahead in as you finish the UCTE program.